Yes, boss.
Well, if you make it back in one piece, maybe I'll let you do a strip search on me.
I'll hold you to that, Doctor.
All right, Snake. Undress.
Naomi Hunter was a character Hideo Kojima wrote and created when he was very high and horny. Now, why such a salacious statement to start off this video? Well, and that's not the only reason I think he wrote this character when he was high and horny. It's also because she's just a terribly written character. In Metal Gear Solid 4, at least. I mean, in Metal Gear Solid 1, I'd honestly say she was one of the most interesting characters in that game, but then they desecrated her in Metal Gear Solid 4, and it was so confusing and mind-boggling as to why that happened. Like, what got into Kojima when he was writing Metal Gear Solid 4? Okay, let's figure out how this even happened. Let's start from the beginning of Naomi Hunter's story.
Say something to take my mind off the pain.
What can I say?
Anything.
I'm not a very good talker.
Please. Tell me about yourself.
Myself? That's a tough one.
Any family?
That's not a happy topic for me.
Sometime in the late 1970s, Naomi Hunter was born in colonially occupied Zimbabwe, known as Rhodesia at the time. Soon after she was born, she became an orphan because her parents were murdered by a man named Frank Yeager, a mercenary involved in the Zimbabwean War of Independence. Feeling guilty, Frank Yeager adopted and then raised her as his sister after finding her near the Zambezi River, half dead from starvation.
I was alone for so long, until I met my big brother, and him.
Your big brother?
Yes. Frank Yeager.
What?
He was a young soldier when he picked me up near the Zambezi River. I was half dead from starvation, and he shared his rations with me.
In the 1980s, they emigrated to the United States of America with the help of the one and only Big Boss, the greatest warrior of the 20th century. After some time passes, Naomi, now a young adult, is ready to go to college. She has a keen interest in genetics because of the fact that she never knew who her parents really were, and because of that, her racial identity and her original name. She was very unaware of who she really was.
I don't know myself. I don't know my real name or even what my parents looked like. I bought all my identification, but my reason for getting into genetics was true.
'Cause you want to know yourself, right?
That's right. I want to know where I came from, my age, my race, anything.
Naomi.
I was found in Rhodesia sometime in the 80s, a dirty little orphan.
Rhodesia? What's now known as Zimbabwe?
Yes. Rhodesia was owned by England until 1965, and there were lots of Indian laborers around. That's probably where I got my skin color from, but I'm not even sure about that.
So she takes up a course in genetics at college, eventually graduating with a doctorate in genetics, specializing in nanotechnology-based gene therapy. In the first Metal Gear game, where the event known as the Zanzibar land disturbance takes place, famous mercenary Solid Snake has a confrontation with Frank Yeager that ends with Frank's body severely crippled. Canonically, this happens in the year 1999, and Naomi, who later finds out about this, vows to seek revenge on Solid Snake. But first, she needs to find her brother. After having his body severely crippled, a secret organization known as the Patriots takes possession of his body, so they can turn him into a cyborg. Naomi plans to save him. How does she plan on doing this? Well, she starts to work with Revolver Ocelot and Eva, who have a mutual interest in ending the Patriots. Going according to their plan, she joins a private biotechnology company called ATGC. Now, Solid Snake wasn't the only person who she planned to be involved in the murder of, because before she gets to Snake, she covers up the murder of the doctor who had been responsible for testing gene therapy techniques on her brother.
We enlisted Naomi Hunter, an authority in the field of nanomachine research, into our organization. And we used Frank Yeager to kill Dr. Clark.
It really sucks that it was Paramedic. Anyway, after Paramedic is murdered, Naomi takes over the role that the doctor filled, which is head of Foxhound's medical staff, and due to being a gene therapy test subject, her brother is basically an unstable cyborg now, but she is still nonetheless happy that she saved her brother.
You didn't kill that doctor too, did you? The one that used Gray Fox for his genome experiments?
Dr. Clark? No. That was my brother. Afterwards, I covered it up and helped him hide out.
Side note, but for all the non-Metal Gear fans watching this, Foxhound was a small, formidable elite Black Ops unit of the United States Army, a unit that Solid Snake eventually became a part of. Got it? Okay, getting back on track, as head of Foxhound's medical staff, she succeeded in perfecting the Pentagon's assassination virus, which she named FoxDie. Unbeknownst to the Pentagon, Naomi completed the virus only to seek revenge on Solid Snake.
You killed my benefactor and sent my brother home a cripple. I vowed revenge and joined Foxhound. I knew it was my best chance to meet you, and I prayed for the day that I would. Excuse me.
Who's this?
Dr. Naomi Hunter. She's chief of Foxhound's medical staff and an expert in gene therapy.
Are you military?
No, civilian. I've been sent here from ATGC. Pleasure to meet you, Snake.
Okay, and that brings us to her depiction in Metal Gear Solid 1. This is how we, as the audience, are introduced to Naomi Hunter. In Metal Gear Solid 1, she was a part of Snake's support team for his infiltration into Shadow Moses Island. At the beginning of the mission, during Snake's briefing, she injected him with various nanomachines and an anti-freezing peptide to prevent his blood from freezing in the cold Alaskan climate. Unbeknownst to Snake, she also injected him with FoxDie. Throughout the mission, Naomi, along with all the other support members, gives him useful information and tips on how to navigate the facilities on the island. At some point, deeper into the mission, Snake's mentor reveals his suspicions about Naomi, noticing that there are some inconsistencies in what's believed to be her backstory, like the fact that it wouldn't be possible for Naomi's supposed Japanese father, yeah, she told them that her father was Japanese and a part of the FBI. Don't know why she went for that angle, but anyway. It wouldn't be possible for Naomi's supposed Japanese father to be a part of the FBI because J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of the FBI at the time, was a massive racist. On top of that, she's not the real Naomi Hunter.
Well, basically, Dr. Naomi Hunter is not Dr. Naomi Hunter at all.
What?
I thought her story of her background sounded kind of fishy, so I checked it out.
And?
There is an actual Dr. Naomi Hunter, or I should say, there was one. But she's not the woman we know. The real Naomi Hunter disappeared somewhere in the Middle East. Our Naomi must have somehow obtained her identification papers.
At some point, Miller also finds out about FoxDie and tells Snake about it.
Snake, have you ever heard of something called FoxDie?
No. FoxDie. Liquid and the others were talking about it.
Yeah. It's some kind of virus that targets specific people. I don't know all the details, but...
What are you trying to say?
Well, apparently FoxDie kills its victims by simulating a heart attack.
No. You're telling me that Naomi was behind it?
Snake, try to remember. Did Naomi give you some kind of injection?
The nanomachines.
She was in the best position to have done it, but I don't know what her motive was.
Naomi. I can't believe it.
That means the FoxDie vaccine must be around somewhere.
Listen, I've got bigger things to worry about.
Snake isn't too worried about whether or not he's been infected. After that revelation is made, Naomi is placed under arrest, then interrogated. Then somehow she's able to contact Snake again, and in this codec call, she reveals her revenge plan to him.
Yes. I waited 2 long years.
To kill me? Is that all you cared about?
Yes. That's right. 2 years. You were all I thought about for 2 long years. Like some kind of twisted obsession.
Do you still hate me?
Not exactly. I was partly wrong about you.
But then she also reveals that it wasn't her choice to inject Snake with FoxDie.
Listen, Snake. I'm not the one who made the decision to use Fox dye.
Huh? You weren't?
No. You were injected with Fox dye as a part of this operation. I just wanted to let you know that. No, that's not the whole truth.
Huh?
The real thing I wanted to tell you was... Snake,
Hey, what are you doing?
And that's when the authorities catch her. Now, the whole reason Naomi concocted this revenge plot against Snake was because of the fact that he crippled her brother, right? Well, her brother is the one that ultimately forgives Snake. During their fight against Metal Gear Rex, he tells Snake that he was the one that killed Naomi's parents and that she deserves to know the truth about that.
Fox, why? What do you want from me?
I am a prisoner of death. Only you can free me.
Fox, stay out of this. What about Naomi? She's hell-bent on taking revenge for you.
Naomi!
You're the only one who can stop her.
No, I can't.
Why?
Because I'm the one who killed her parents. I was young then, and couldn't bring myself to kill her too. I felt so bad that I decided to take her with me. I raised her like she was my own blood to soothe my guilty conscience. Even now, she thinks of me as her brother.
Fox.
From the outside, we might have seemed like a happy brother and sister, but every time I looked at her, I saw her parents' eyes staring back at me. Tell her for me. Tell her that I was the one who did it.
There you are!
We're just about out of time.
But Snake ultimately chooses to tell Naomi that her brother's last message to her was that she should forget about him and live life on her own terms, because Snake didn't want Naomi's view of her brother to change, because he was her only family.
Snake, it's me.
Naomi,
I heard about my brother.
I'm sorry. But he had one last message he wanted to say to you. He told me to tell you to forget about him and to go on with your own life.
Frankie said that?
Yeah. He also said he'll always love you. Naomi, your brother just saved you, me, and the whole world. He fought with every ounce of strength in his body.
Maybe now he's finally found some peace.
Which is a bit of a weird move, because now Naomi will never know about the truth about what happened to her parents. And that's ultimately what her brother would have wanted, and I guess Snake just isn't honoring that. I guess we can applaud him for having noble intentions. Aside from that, another member of Foxhound named Liquid Snake dies because of his fox dye infection. Because of that, Snake is curious about whether or not the same thing will happen to him, and he asks Naomi about that.
Naomi, Liquid died from fox dye too. What about me? When am I gonna go?
That's up to you.
What do you mean?
Everybody dies when their time is up.
Yeah, so when's mine up?
It's up to you how you use the time left to you. Live, Snake. That's all I can say to you.
And that is how her arc ends in Metal Gear Solid 1. I'd say it was a pretty solid, no pun intended, story, and I'll tell you why. But first I want to ask you this question. Have you ever played The Last of Us Part 2? If your answer is no, then let me give you a little bit of context, and trust me, I promise this is going to tie back to Metal Gear, so just stay with me. One of the ultimate messages that The Last of Us Part 2 tried to get across was that the decisions that you may have made in the past that seemed very insignificant to you may have had a very significant impact on someone else. At the end of the first Last of Us game, you kill what at the time seemed like some random doctor, and you don't think that much about it. And this is from the perspective of both the player and Joel. But what the player and Joel didn't realize, or probably didn't care about, was the fact that this doctor had a daughter. And in the second Last of Us game, that daughter basically personifies the phrase, "the chicken's coming home to roost." Now, I'm obviously not going to give you a detailed analysis of why this was executed very sloppily in The Last of Us Part 2, and I hope I didn't open up a can of worms bringing up this game. Please behave in the comments. All you need to know is that The Last of Us Part 2 is an example of what not to do when it comes to trying to write a plot with that message. But conversely, Metal Gear Solid 1, more than 20 years before The Last of Us Part 2, did the same thing, but way better. In the second Metal Gear game in the series, you supposedly kill Frank Jaeger, and at the time, that action probably wasn't seen as significant by the player, but both him and his sister come back to bite you and Snake in the ass. I mean, for Snake, that move was significant given the fact that he was friends with Frank. So maybe it's not a one-to-one with The Last of Us Part 2, but Snake was definitely not expecting the sister that he didn't know Frank had to seek revenge on him. Just like how Joel and Ellie weren't expecting the daughter they didn't know that doctor had to seek revenge on them. Except it's executed better in Metal Gear Solid 1. They really didn't have to kill the man to prove that point in The Last of Us Part 2, and Metal Gear Solid 1 is an example of that. Snake's ending in Metal Gear Solid 1 is pretty ambiguous. He doesn't know if he'll die because of Fox Die, and as Naomi said to him at the end, he should live life to the fullest regardless of that because that's what her brother would have wanted. Anyway, you get my point. I hope I didn't reopen any unhealed wounds talking about The Last of Us Part 2. Aside from that, her backstory is pretty interesting. The fact that she never knew who her parents really were, the fact that she was born in a British colony, and the fact that she was adopted by a guy who was fighting against the British colonizers. Now, who wouldn't like to have a brother who fought the British Empire? That's pretty dope if you ask me. I will say though that her arc is left very open-ended at the end of Metal Gear Solid 1. Yes, she's happy her brother finally found peace, and yes, she ultimately forgives Snake, and yes, in her ending monologue, she says she's going to choose to live her life to the fullest, and thus put the past behind her given the fact that she didn't find any fulfillment in getting into genes for the purpose of finding out who her parents really were, but there aren't any specifics given, like how exactly is she going to live her life to the fullest? Questions like that are left unanswered. But personally, I don't think it was a bad thing to leave those questions open-ended. That's what I would have said if she wasn't in Metal Gear Solid 4. Okay. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, because we're about to discuss some really atrocious writing and character assassination. It's gonna be a doozy. We interrupt this program to remind you to subscribe, especially if you want to see more media critical analyses of video game series including Yakuza, Metal Gear, Alan Wake, and many more. I'm always expanding the amount of different video game franchises I cover. Additionally, you should make sure you check out my other Metal Gear videos if you want to watch all the Metal Gear videos I've made up until this point. You can find them all in one playlist called Metal Gear Videos, or you could just check out the playlist for character analyses if that's all you're interested in. And lastly, remember to like the video too on top of subscribing if you're feeling extra generous. With that out of the way, let's get back to the video. So, after the end of Metal Gear Solid 1, Naomi was arrested on charges of treason and placed in a maximum security facility prison. 3 weeks after being imprisoned, she was broken out of the maximum security facility she was imprisoned at with the aid of liquid ocelot.
Snake, as you'll recall, following the Shadow Moses incident 9 years ago, Naomi was detained by the authorities. But someone arranged for her escape.
Yeah, I hear they added that to my rap sheet too.
I suspect it was actually liquid.
After her escape, the CIA labeled Naomi as one of their most wanted international terrorists. So yeah, in Metal Gear Solid 4, Naomi is a terrorist. That's actually an accurate label to give her in this game because of how badly they wrote her character, to which, speaking of that, what role does she play in Metal Gear Solid 4? Well, to start off, her first appearance is in Act 1 of the game in the Middle East. She's seen hanging around with liquid ocelot, and then she leaves Snake with a syringe at the end of the chapter. It turns out that she left Snake that syringe so Otacon could extract the DNA from it, then find out that she sent Otacon and Snake a video message claiming to have been kidnapped by Liquid in order to hijack the Patriots' AI network. If you've already played Metal Gear Solid 4, then you'd already know that for some odd reason, Naomi is lying because in reality, she was working with him to destroy the Patriots' AI network with a program called XUalized. For all the non-Metal Gear fans watching, the Patriots were a secret organization that controlled the United States government, and in Metal Gear Solid 4, their goal was to exert even more control than they already have by expanding the power their AIs already have by expanding their AI network. Anyway, they figured that she's in South America, so that's where they go. And once they get to this South American country, that's when Snake gets to see Naomi proper for the first time in 9 years.
Naomi.
Snake. I knew you'd come. You and I, neither of us can escape our fate.
After that, Naomi tries to figure out why Snake is 42 and looks like this. Basically, she figures out the cause behind Snake's accelerated aging and also gives him more information on that fox dye vaccination she gave him 9 years ago, informing him that fox dye would cause an epidemic due to a genetic mutation in the virus, implying that he would have to commit suicide to prevent that from happening.
The part of the virus that distinguishes between individuals will start to break down in about...
Half a year.
No. 3 months at the most.
3 months?
Ironic, isn't it? You've spent your entire life saving the world from Metal Gear, from nuclear annihilation. And now, you're becoming a doomsday device yourself.
Then they're interrupted by some guards, and that's when Snake has to embark on another journey to find her again. And he eventually does, and after a series of action-packed battles with a whole lot of spectacle, they leave South America. And this is where the problems with her inclusion in Metal Gear Solid 4 start. Now, before I get to that, I guess I should ask this question first. Why is Naomi even in Metal Gear Solid 4? Her arc was finished in Metal Gear Solid 1. Like, in my opinion, it was really unnecessary to have her in this game because her character doesn't really grow that much. I mean, remember how she was extremely interested in genes because she wanted to figure out who her parents and herself really were? What happened to that? Did she all of a sudden stop caring about that? Because I don't remember her mentioning it in this game. I guess you could make the argument that she didn't really have the capacity to do that because Ocelot had a noose around her neck, but at the same time, didn't her goals align with Ocelot's? Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. My main point is, it seems like Kojima kind of forgot about what was really central to Naomi's character in Metal Gear Solid 1. On top of that, her outfit is fucking ridiculous, and it's just another example of Kojima's needless objectification of female characters. And I know what some of y'all are gonna say. Male characters are sexualized too. I mean, did you see that skin-tight suit that Snake wears? It's so tight you can see the outline of his ass. And my counter to that would be, well, I get what you mean, but literally having your titties out is not the same as a skin-tight suit, so tight you can see the ass. It's not like Snake has his dick poking out of his undergarments, so much so that it's visible. Anyway, the worst is yet to come.
The trick is to keep the lid on. Now, let it cook for 1 minute.
So they try to portray this bond that Naomi forms with the resident child prodigy, Sunny. And I don't know, man, I just wasn't feeling it, to be honest. I wasn't a fan of the character Sunny in general. She's just a generic child prodigy. Aside from that, when Sunny starts talking about her dead mother, Naomi doesn't even mention her orphan status too. And I mean, that's just a missed opportunity right there. Literally, the easiest way to portray this character bond would have been by doing that. Two characters who are orphans talking about their experiences as orphans. I don't even care for this character dynamic, and I came up with a better way to portray it than what's in the game. Anyway, at least she teaches Sunny how to cook eggs, I guess? Now, the reasons as to why Naomi is accompanying Snake and his crew in the first place is so she can guide them to where Liquid Ocelot is going. We also see her vulnerable side again when she notices the similarities between her brother and Raiden, in that they're both cyborgs and that Raiden is now a continuation of the project that fucked her brother up.
I can't believe this sort of thing still goes on.
The war economy is heating up the R&D race.
At least there's one moment where she acknowledges her character arc in Metal Gear Solid 1. Aside from that, the other reason she's accompanying Snake and his crew is so she can secretly leave a hard drive with the Fox Alive program to destroy one of the Patriots' AI.
Huh?
Who is this?
Oh, her? That's my sister.
Really? I never knew you had a sister. For a moment, I thought she might have been your girlfriend.
No, I don't have a... Emma was a brilliant programmer. She wrote the worm that destroyed the Arsenal Gear AI. Then... Vamp killed her.
I'm so sorry.
No, there's nothing for you to be sorry for. Or me. I used to be an anime otaku.
Oh. So that's where Otacon comes from.
I was always fascinated by sci-fi anime. That's what got me into this line of work. It's too bad reality wasn't so simple. I never even imagined that science, that my own research, could cause so much misery.
Okay, so we got an interesting character dynamic here. Naomi and Otacon, two characters who didn't interact with each other that much, if at all, in Metal Gear Solid 1, but here they are, chopping it up with each other. Otacon talks about how good-natured scientists like him are used for evil purposes by the powers that be, and how fucked up that is. This makes Naomi reflect. And that's interesting. It would have been nice if we got a verbal response from her there, but silence says a lot more, I suppose.
Would you mind if I helped Sunny with her cooking?
Oh, of course not. Go ahead. But, about all we've got on board besides military rations are eggs.
No. Leave them off. It makes you look handsome.
You think so?
Are you serious? Up until this exact point, this scene was fine. We got to see an interesting character interaction, but they just had to shove this stupid romance subplot. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
I'll show you in.
Thank you. Good night, Dr. Emmerich.
Yeah. If you get uncomfortable or anything, just let me know. I'll be out there working.
Thank you.
Oh. And,
Yes?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
call me Hal. Good night.
Good night, Hal.
All I gotta ask is why? Why did Kojima or whoever else was on his team decide to do this? It is the epitome of an unnecessary romance. And it's just cringeworthy. There wasn't any build-up to it either. It just happens. Out of nowhere. It's easily one of the worst parts of Metal Gear Solid 4, and it adds absolutely nothing to Naomi and Otacon's characters. So, Solid Snake and crew and Naomi arrive in Eastern Europe. Snake has his own mission to go on, and Naomi goes with Sunny to take Raiden's body to Dr. Madnar's lab so he can recover. But then, as soon as Liquid shows up, she seemingly defects back to his side? So what seemingly looks like a betrayal is what we just saw, right? But if you've played Metal Gear Solid 4 before, you'd know that Naomi and Snake's crew ultimately have the same goals. Liquid Ocelot and Naomi want to end the Patriots. Snake and Co. want to end the Patriots too. Naomi and Liquid just love playing charades to fool the Patriots, so the Patriots can't do the same thing to them. On top of that, Snake just didn't know that he was ordered to go after Liquid Ocelot at the behest of the Patriots. If that didn't make any sense to you, then the only thing you should take away from what I just said is that they have a mutual interest in ending the Patriots. It's just that Metal Gear Solid 4 and the Solid Snake saga in general are extremely convoluted, so on your first playthrough, all of this is going to be extremely confusing, and it really does look like Naomi is betraying you, but she isn't, and you'll see why soon. After supposedly taking an L in Eastern Europe, Snake and Co. figure out that they need to go to Shadow Moses Island for the purposes of fulfilling their mission, the details of which I won't get into because they don't relate to the topic of this video. They get to Shadow Moses Island, and they eventually come across a familiar face.
Naomi.
This place will be your grave, as my queen wishes. The suicide gecko are on their way. Soon, there'll be nothing left of this place.
We've been had. Otacon.
Snake, I think I might be able to get it working. I just need some time.
Hurry!
I'll leave the rest to you.
Naomi!
So, that was a weird scene. Like, what the fuck was Naomi trying to do there? Is she fucking vamp? Is this just another instance of her playing charades to fool the Patriots? If that's the case, did she really need to act like she's fucking a vampire? Yeah, that was just weird and nothing more than that. Just weird. Anyway, Snake beats Vamp, and then we as the audience are subjected to one of the most contrived scenes I've ever seen in a piece of media.
We are the same. We're living corpses. Our bodies kept barely alive by nanomachines.
Then you...
Cancer. I shouldn't even be alive right now. The nanomachines have kept it from progressing. But there's nothing more they can do. With the nanomachines gone, time will unfreeze and begin to flow again.
What are you saying? Goodbye.
Hell.
Don't!
Give my best to Sonny.
Naomi, don't do it!
Are you crying? For me?
Naomi, why?
That was horrible. That was horrible.
For no good reason whatsoever, Naomi just kills herself. The reason she gives is the fact that she's only being kept alive with nanomachines, but I don't understand why you would have to kill yourself because of that. I don't get it. As long as it's not having any negative side effects on your body or anyone around you, then what's the problem? I mean, didn't she still want to find out who her parents really were? Yeah, remember that? That was a big part of her backstory, the reason why she got into genetics in the first place. Something that is not mentioned at all in Metal Gear Solid 4. I guess Kojima forgot. But regardless of that, she had no good reason to just kill herself. It's not like she was suicidal before, because if she was, they should have shown that, especially considering the fact that her brother told her to live life to the fullest. Narratively, it just doesn't make sense. You know, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a game I believe everyone should experience, especially if they're a fan of different mediums of entertainment. But scenes like this one always make me second guess that. Luckily, these types of scenes are far and few in between. So if you've never played Metal Gear Solid 4, I highly recommend playing it. Obviously, you should play the previous 3 games first, but look forward to 4. It's one hell of an experience. In Metal Gear Solid 4's finale, Snake installs the program that Naomi and Sonny made to kill the Patriots' AI network, Fox Alive. Remember Fox Alive? Yeah, that program destroys the whole network the Patriots created. And after Snake installs it, a pre-recorded message from Naomi starts playing.
Snake. Hal. It's you, isn't it? I hope you're listening. The virus you uploaded is using GW as a conduit to annihilate the entire AI network.
Aside from that, she apologizes to Otacon for needlessly deceiving him, and she tells Snake one more time to live his life to the fullest.
Snake. The time has come. You've earned your rest.
And that's the last time we see and hear Naomi. Jesus Christ, what a terrible ending to a character arc that seemed like it had so much promise. It was just an all-around, all-over-the-place depiction. In my opinion, her story should have ended in Metal Gear Solid 1. Her presence in Metal Gear Solid 4 was largely pointless. There wasn't any real character development. The decisions she made didn't make any sense. Her romance with Otacon was stupid. Her relationship with Sonny wasn't anything to write home about, despite the fact that there was an opportunity to develop her character with that relationship. And her relationship with Snake? Her relationship with Snake in Metal Gear Solid 4 was probably the only substantive part of her appearance in this game. In almost all of their interactions, they just reinforce the themes that were in Metal Gear Solid 1, which mostly relate back to Snake's character arc, but hey, at least she's added something to the story thematically. Outside of that, they could have created a new female character to play the role Naomi played in the plot of Metal Gear Solid 4, and pretty much nothing would have changed, minus the suicide. I don't know what Kojima was thinking with the decision to make her commit suicide. And yeah, that's why I think Naomi is probably the most poorly written Metal Gear character. In Metal Gear Solid 4 at least. She was pretty good in Metal Gear Solid 1, so I guess the title is slightly misleading. You know, the more that I think about it, this was the case with a lot of characters in Metal Gear Solid 4. They were great in the first game, but then they were completely mishandled in Metal Gear Solid 4. So I guess I have more videos to make then. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see me analyze more Metal Gear characters that were great in Metal Gear Solid 1, but we're pretty bad in Metal Gear Solid 4, because you'll want to stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks for watching.